So Dragon Age the Velgard came out, and let's just say this game is cooked so hard. It has not even been out for a full week yet, and it has resulted in major refunds on Steam. Today's video comes from Dr. Disaster. He's going to give us more details on what's happening. His channel is linked in the description, so you can go check him out and support him. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
What's up, Space Pirates? This is your captain, the Dread Pirate Dr. Disaster. And now that we have a full weekend behind us, after the Dragon Age the Velgard release, we can get a rough idea as to how well the game has performed.
I'm ruined. I have nothing left.
Yeah, this was not a good weekend for BioWare. This meme here has been making the rounds on social media, and it is completely emblematic of how the people supporting Dragon Age are behaving. The game's max concurrent player count did end up higher than what they feature in this meme though. By the end of the weekend, they couldn't quite hit that 90,000 mark, but they did end up getting 89,000.
Whoop-de-doo!
But the game really needed to hit and remain in the top 10 most played games on Steam in order to be a successful game. They really needed to hit those kinds of numbers in order for the financial numbers to work on this thing, considering how much money has to have been sunk into this title. But it just didn't happen. In fact, at the time of this recording, the game is barely in the top 30 most played games, being number 30. It is behind Baldur's Gate 3, as it has been fairly often all weekend, which, if you remember, that game came out a little over a year ago, and that is absolutely pathetic.
Oh no! We suck again!
To make matters worse, we now have evidence that a significant number of people who bought this game asked for a refund. This is likely the cultural auto intake crowd, those people who see a new game with a title like Dragon Age and they just have to buy it. They can't help themselves, but once they booted it up, they realized what they had done and they had the appropriate response.
I immediately regret this decision.
But alrighty then, let's talk about Dragon Age and all the refunds which it looks like the game got hit with. I imagine that sometime in the next few days, all the game's journalists are going to be fed their new talking point update, and they're going to announce that the Velgard has now sold 1 million copies. They will go on and on about how great this achievement is, despite the fact that this is a game that almost assuredly needs well over 4.5 times that number in order to break even. They'll gloss over that fact, and the fact that the game is getting destroyed by its contemporaries. They will act as though this is a game from some small-time indie studio or something like that, when in fact this game comes from a studio that is as corporate and large as it comes. But before they can celebrate this so-called massive achievement, they have to contend with a sizable chunk of refunds which appear to have hit the game. This was discovered by Hypnotic, and he tweeted about it here. He said, "Interesting discussion around the numbers of Dragon Age the Velgard. Yesterday, when looking at the analytics, it was estimated this game sold 536,000 copies. There's been talks of massive refunds, but I can't find much evidence, obviously, since they hide that information. Total players was estimated to be 536,000. And then he includes this image here in the tweet. This is from the website Gamealytic, which tracks sales data from Steam, and it does indeed show that at one point the game was at 536,000 copies sold. But the tweet continues, now today, 1 day later, total estimated players and copies sold is 429,100. This is a nearly 110,000 player drop from yesterday. I never seen the numbers go down like this during estimations. Game analytics must have access to some information we do not have. And once again, he provides a screenshot from Gamealytics showing the game at 429,000 copies sold. For reference, This is what it looks like right now. About a half a day after this tweet was originally posted, the game is currently estimated to have sold about 479,000 copies.
So as you can see, this game did terrible. It did not sell well at all, and people have been rejecting it. There's a comment from Soraya that I saw, and I think it's kind of relevant. Even if these companies do come back to us and say, hey, we're sorry, please forgive us, let us try again, do not forgive them. Do not give them a second try, because these companies are enemies. There is so many things that they have done wrong. They are facing serious illegal implications. There are people trying to disagree with me in the comments about this, but this is nonsense. They are guilty of fixing reviews, sending out review codes to only people they knew would give favorable reviews, using DMCA strikes to take down videos that criticize them, even if are even comments. So for example, someone just posted a review of the game. They got a review code from BioWare by after claiming that they were non-binary, and then they posted the review on to Twitter. It was just a text-based review breaking down how they viewed the game, and they didn't use any footage or anything like that. And BioWare issued a DMCA strike against them. Of course, and took their entire profile down, took their entire account down. They are now back online, of course, but this is how badly things are. They are actually weaponizing the DMCA. So companies like BlackRock that are investing in these companies, it's like gone from bad to worse. Usually they operate within the law itself, or at least within a certain gray area, but now they're just basically doing whatever they want to do and hoping that no one is going to sue them. So they've basically weaponized everything against the player, against the consumer. They are breaking tons and tons of laws. They are committing acts of conspiracy. They are regulating. They are posting fake reviews or regulating reviews, trying to deceive the consumer. They are sending talking points to the people who reviewed the games, and every reviewer basically has the exact same thing: a return to form. It's a return to form. Every review. All of the game reviews are saying that this was a return to form at the very beginning. So this is like, obviously this was sent to them by BioWare, and yeah, they could face serious consequences for every fake review, that they had created from like IGN or all of these companies. That could cost the company $50,000. And again, there could be a variety of other illegal implications, but you need to let these companies die off. Do not support them. Doesn't matter if they apologize or not, let them die off. Obviously Soraya is a grown woman, but just like how you have bad boys, you have bad girls. And she left a comment that I want to share with you guys because I find it pretty interesting. On one of my polls, it was basically never take advice from your enemy. And that was a poll. You could agree, disagree, say you don't know or don't care. And most people actually agreed. So Raya posted her own very interesting perspective. She said that she disagreed because if you ask your enemy for advice, then you know how they'd move or what and how they think. It doesn't mean you have to take that person's advice, but you got to keep your enemies on a short leash. This is a bad girl. This is a bad girl. All right, guys, you got to keep them on a, just simps. Just like I've said, you got to, simps are not, don't treat them like people. These are terrible individuals. You got to keep them on a short leash. These companies, these evil organizations that are doing this bad stuff, you got to keep them on a short leash. And it's so funny that she put it that way. I started to think about it, and I realize now what it truly means what it truly means to say, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. It doesn't mean that you're going to go and turn around and become friends with your enemies and begin working with them. No, that's not what it means. What it means is pay attention to what your friends are doing, okay? Because your friends could always screw you over. So pay close attention to your friends, but pay even more attention to your enemies. Because while your friends are more likely to have your back, your enemies definitely don't. So you need to always know what your enemies are doing. Spend less time spend less time paying attention to what your friends are doing and spend more time paying attention to what your enemies are doing. And that's absolutely true. That she's right. That's exactly what I think she means. Keep them on a short leash. always know what they are thinking, always know what they are up to, so that you can always be ready for any BS that these people bring.
Hypnotic said in his tweet then, I think this will lead the argument to the massive refund stories we've been hearing. Streamers have been seen buying the game and refunding it in 2 hours after they got their first stream done on the game when it was hot to talk about it. And yes, I do agree that a portion of these numbers was likely streamers who wanted to get essentially a free stream from the game by playing only a couple hours and then refunding. But I'm willing to bet that a massive chunk of these numbers dropping off, a massive chunk of it is just organic, with players trying the game out and then saying hell no to the crazy bad gameplay. And also, I wonder how many of these numbers are people who got the game for free. As you may remember, Dragon Age ran a promo where you got the game for free with the purchase of certain PC accessories, so there's certainly some number of those people who are playing the game, but it's unclear if they would show up on the Gamealytics data as a copy that was sold.
So regarding this, I will actually tell you something very interesting. I just purchased a gaming PC, gaming laptop. Many of you guys know, in terms of gaming PC, I plan to build my gaming PC. But yeah, I was really, really disappointed. Really, really disappointed in what I saw. So I purchased my laptop, and it's supposed to be arriving soon enough. And it's going to be a very nice model, and it came with a bunch of freebies, like things like 1 month of Game Pass, which is like, really, I mean, you probably get that anyway. And there was other things like Norton, like was it Norton, or like virus scanner, which sucks because, like, and I use Mac predominantly. This is my go-to. But for gaming, Mac sucks. I've tried; it doesn't work, so I'm done with that. But despite out of all the freebies, there was also one thing that there was also a game that came with it, which was Star Wars Outlaws, and that's like a $60 game or $70 game, and it's like they were giving it away for free. They give away games like Unknown 9 for free, and these are high budget games. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this really sucks. Star Wars Outlaws, I don't even want that garbage in my library. I don't even want it in my Steam library. Like, I would rather a game from like 10 years ago, like LA Noir or something. But now they're like that costs like $10, but now they're giving us garbage. So a lot of people definitely got this Dragon Age game for free.
I'm wondering out loud here whether or not some of these sold copies that were eliminated from the site's data, I wonder if some of those were actually free copies that they removed from their calculations. It's hard to say for sure, but the game certainly doesn't seem to have staying power. The thing is, the retention rate for Dragon Age isn't very good either. Those who didn't get refunds don't seem to be playing it as much as you'd expect on the launch weekend. Grums posted this yesterday after about 3 full days of Dragon Age being available for gamers to play it. Only 13.9% of players have made it halfway through Dragon Age the Velgard. There are 12 parts. Only 0.2% have completed it since launch. The thing is, at the moment, we are sitting at around 500,000 purchases for the game on Steam. I'll bet you that with PlayStation and Xbox, they are somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 million copies sold. So I expect that announcement from the game journalists sometime in the next day or so, but the burst of players buying up new games always happens in the first several days after launch, and the sales on this thing are going to slow way down moving forward. My expectation is that they might limp along to 2 million sales, but I struggle to imagine it getting any higher than that. So this game looks to be a massive failure, but I'm going to leave it there.
Guys, if you're enjoying the content, definitely go and check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse. Inside, you'll get exclusive videos, travel tips, digital nomad guides, passive income strategies, pop culture and geek culture commentary, and hard-hitting manosphere content. Free subscribers have access to videos, podcast articles, and a community chat, plus receive the passive income blueprint and digital nomad blueprint just for joining. Paid subscribers unlock even more value, including exclusive guides like the how to build an online business in 24-hour ebook, wealth building blueprints, and crypto updates. Join us today by clicking the link in the description and take your journey to the next level. So Dragon Age the Veilguard is 100% cooked. Okay? It is absolutely cooked. The game is totally cooked. And they're going to continue down this path. When you look at what BioWare has done to their fans, when you look at people like Jason Schreider and him mocking fans, calling them chuds, saying that he doesn't actually like the game, but he just wants for people who do not agree with leftist or woke ideologies to suffer and be miserable, you then realize just how bad this industry is. So changes do need to happen. I have unsubscribed from IGN. I've unsubscribed. I don't want content from their channel coming to me anymore. So, I believe I put in do not recommend this channel. And this is what I recommend everyone do. These channels, these ideologies, everything, like even like in my personal settings, I tend to use Microsoft. I like Microsoft Edge, and I have the Bing homepage, and I would get like news and updates and gaming stuff. And I just reject them now. Or like Gamer Rant, like if they have any type of this garbage, like that, you can easily spot it now. Praising Dragon Age, oh, you're woke, you're part of that group. Okay, well then we're just gonna block you. I don't want to read I'm not gonna read your content. I'm not gonna support you. I'm not gonna watch your videos. You're not going to get ad revenue from me. I'm not going to click on the links you're just in the I'm not going to click on the affiliate links. They're affiliate links that you're masking in your videos so that I'll go and buy these products and you'll get a cut of that revenue. Nope, I'm not going to do any of that. You're not going to get my money. I'm not going to support you in any way whatsoever. You can go ahead and mock me, but guess what? There are a lot of people being fired in the gaming industry right now. And don't be shocked when this hits the journalist industry. Don't be shocked when a lot of these gaming journalist companies start shutting down, start closing down because they can no longer operate. They're losing money. Because if the game companies are losing money, if the game companies are struggling to sell their products, then that's less advertising, that's less marketing dollars for journalists, if you can really call them that, for sites like Kotaku, for sites like IGN, for sites like Gamer Rant, or whatever the heck it's called. All of these organizations, they operate on affiliates, they operate on sponsorships. But if these companies are losing massive amounts of money, then they're going to end up completely screwed. And don't be shocked when they start laying off people, start firing people. And it's a wonderful thing. You have to understand that it's these operations, for example, even something like GameSpot.com, it would seem completely unreasonable and unthinkable that GameSpot would shut down. I haven't followed GameSpot in years. In fact, I stopped reading GameSpot after they went woke and gave GTA 5 a terrible rating just because they didn't like the person who reviewed it, did not like specific things in the game. And the person, I'm not going to talk about who the individual was, but this just shows you how far back all of this woke garbage goes, because this is like 10 years ago. So this garbage has been going on since then. So now all of these games are going woke, and all of these companies that are pushing woke ideologies, if consumers don't read their publications, guys, these companies don't seem to understand that they can be shut down. They can lose their business. They can lose their jobs. We are the boss. We don't care. Okay. And if platforms like, the one that I'm on right now decide that they're also going to try to silence us, we'll just move over to Rumble. Okay. We'll move over to Rumble. There's a massive audience on Rumble. And one thing that you guys, I'm going to encourage you to also do is to go and sign up in the description of my video to get notifications whenever I put out new videos. So yeah, I've set that up for you guys. Whenever you join the Angry Guy Clubhouse, you will basically get a notification. So I'll be sending out weekly updates. Letting you guys know all the videos that I've dropped for the week. So this way you will not miss any of the videos. So you'll get your notification like, oh, these are all the videos we dropped. So you can go through all the videos and you can read them and you can see what's coming out. And that's something that's very important. So go and sign up for the Angry Guy Clubhouse, guys, because you're also going to get notifications whenever we drop new videos, so you won't be missing those videos. And that's something that a lot of people are doing now. This way we at least have some ownership of our audience. So if you guys, for those people who actually really enjoy my content and you don't care, you're like, well, I don't care where you go, Angry, I'm going to follow you. you don't have to worry. And the good thing with the Angry Guy Clubhouse is, I can post all of my videos in the Angry Guy Clubhouse if I choose to. I can post all of my videos there, and you can watch all of the videos in the Angry Guy Clubhouse, and I control the audience. I control everything related to that. And I think that's very much the future. A lot of people are just going to be moving away from this ad-based model and having, people go over to their own platforms and support them that way. Because this is ridiculous what's going on right now. I just want to show you how these companies scam us. So if you guys look very carefully, we have the Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak Ultimate Edition. Okay, and offer ends on November 8th, 2024, and it's going for $107.48. And this is on GOG. Okay, I love GOG, big fan of GOG, but you guys have to be careful. So it says that the normal price is $134.35, and you're going to be able to get the Ultimate Edition for $107.48. However, if we go right over to Steam and we compare the price on Steam, guess what? Here we are. The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak Ultimate Edition. The exact same game. Notice it's $69.07, okay? And what they're doing here is they're saying that the original game is $107.95, but you can get it here for $69.07. So on GOG right now, they want you to spend crazy amounts more for the exact same game. And that's just to show you how much of a ripoff they are. Because realistically, when you purchase things on Steam, you don't own anything. You don't have the rights to anything. You are not purchasing the actual game. You are purchasing a rental. So they're basically trying to offset that right now. So this is the scam that they're running. Look at that. You can see it for yourself. $107.95. They're saying that's the usual price, but you can get it on Steam right now for $69.07. The same game, all right? Trails Through Daybreak Ultimate Edition. And you go right back over to GOG, and they're trying to sell the exact same game for the same price. Exact same game for a different price, a much higher price. Like that is a total and utter scam. That is a total and utter scheme. It's just now that they could easily come back and say, oh, hey, no, that's not the case. These are just different editions. These are different versions. It says the same name right there. If we scroll down, it says about this bundle, okay? We scroll down, we can see exactly here what is included in here, okay? What's included? It says the Legend of Heroes, okay? Trails Through. So you have the base game, which is usually $59.99. It's on sale right now for $47.99 there. And that's actually the same price that it's currently going for over on GOG. However, they're pricing everything else differently. Okay, but just, this is what, all right. You get the Trails Daybreak accessory set. You get the starter consumable set. You get the advanced consumable set. You get the costume set. You get the voice set. You get the bonus set. So we just read everything that's in there, and it says, yeah. So that's everything that's in there. And we just want to confirm we're looking at the exact same thing. Let's go over to GOG. All right, scroll down and see what's in there. Okay, you get the base game. All right, this is the Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak Ultimate Edition includes, okay, the base game, costume set, accessory set, voice set, starter consumable set, advanced consumable set, free sample set, bonus set. They're the exact same thing. They're the exact same. They're the exact same thing. Look at that. Look at all the names on there of all of them. Okay? Look at the names on there. Compare all of them right here. It's the exact same thing. So they can't turn around and say, oh, it was a different bundle or blah, blah, blah. They are ripping us off. These people are taking advantage of us. But I'm glad I caught it. I just wanted you to see what these companies were doing. They are not our friends. These people, they are just trying to rip us off and take advantage of us as consumers. Stay awake, stay alert. Don't let these people win. And keep supporting GOG. Venom Snacks also delves into the subject quite a bit regarding Dragon Age, the Velgard, and points out that they absolutely do not like you. Just like you saw a moment ago, These companies, every one of these companies are trying to take advantage of us. Steam is not your friend. They're trying to take advantage of us. So if they're fixing prices, if these companies are fixing prices on things like Steam and GOG, then you absolutely know that they're trying to take advantage of you in other ways. Even companies that look good, they don't like you, they don't want you, they just want your money. Don't give it to them and never forgive them. In terms of Dragon Age the Velgard, Venom Stacks basically says, this is a company that absolutely HATEs you and it's basically infantizing you. We're going to go ahead and jump into his video, and you can find his channel linked in the description, so you can go check them out and support them as well. And now let's just go ahead and jump right in.
Before I get into the video, I'm interested in what you guys think of the aftermath of Velgard's release. From BioWare trying to censor their own content in the game, and the very underwhelming sales, so let me know in the comments. Anyway, let's get into the topic. Moon Studios CEO Thomas Mahler is responsible for a handful of great games, like Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps, platformers with incredible and memorable art design. He has been refreshingly honest lately about the corporatized hellscape this industry has become. His tenure with Blizzard Games also seems to have given him a uniquely detailed perspective on what we're seeing now in 2024. And with Dragon Age the Velgard and the compromised, politically correct sewage we're expected to slurp down. From that park place, Thomas Mahler is being based, so they did an article on it. He says the Velgard writing is infantile and terrible. In a recent post to X, who is currently developing No Rest for the Wicked, that's in early access right now. I haven't been able to try it, but it looks pretty cool. Anyways, he says, I grew up in the 80s. Even as a young boy back then, I always thought TV shows were low-effort trash, because every show back then was trying to be politically correct as possible. Every show was about happy families, always trying to paint a perfect picture, always being careful not to talk about anything that could be in the slightest controversial. So, the sterile slop of the 80s is probably pretty innocuous compared to the lectures on gender and critical race theory we're getting now. But it's a relevant point to make that in 2024, we seem to be moving backwards as a culture. Our mainstream art is regressing significantly in terms of storytelling and competence. People are waking up to that and finally speaking out against it in large numbers. I genuinely think that's what makes YouTube still a platform worth talking on. He continues, then The Simpsons and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air dropped, and that stuff suddenly felt radical because every now and then the writers on these shows dared to approach subjects that felt real. And whenever they tried that, it resulted in episodes that were memorable. I'd like to think it's because the writers managed to put some of their own experiences in there. There is something to be said about how inhuman these leftist and Marxist games feel. They're sanitized and rotten. And while trying to appeal to everyone, they only appeal to their own self-inserting and sick brains. Normal people with families don't want to be told they deserve to be punished for misgendering someone. Velgard isn't about making money, but sending this message. A message that is currently being taught in schools, enforcing indoctrination on children. Indoctrination that says men and women don't actually exist, or have differences. Or that white men, or white people in general, need to feel a strong sense of guilt for acts of slavery they had no part in. Then in the late 90s, The Sopranos dropped, and suddenly it was clear that TV shows didn't have to be trash, he stated. The episodic format could actually be used to give more insight into characters, their trials and tribulations, and it kept going from that point on. We saw more and more TV shows that delivered excellent drama, like The Wire and Breaking Bad.
You're goddamn right.
So I've talked about this numerous times on this channel. Shows like Breaking Bad and character dramas were about actual human beings with relatable issues.
Skyler! Get your restraining order right here! Restrain this!
That's why they're finally remembered and still talked about, as opposed to something like Fleabag or the 10th Disney show about lesbian witches and occult worship demonic trash that's all over the Disney network or Disney Plus or whatever the fuck. And that's really what's been lost in mainstream entertainment, what Mr. Mahler is getting at here. I remember in the golden age of television, it actually being superior to film because they had years to flesh out these characters, like Walt or Tony Soprano. They had so much time to alter their life, and you can see how much they've changed from season 1 to season 5, especially in Walter White's arc, who, he became he was a complete dork, a teacher who didn't make any money. He gets cancer, he has no idea what to do, and becomes like this based, sociopathic crime lord that you're really not meant to root for. But Bryan Cranston was just so talented, it was impossible not to. He then turned his attention to Dragon Age the Veilguard and video games. Looking at games now, it's clear to see that we're apparently moving back to the Stone Age of political correctness.
And guys, if you want to watch the full video, you can actually find the full video over in the Angry Guy Clubhouse, and it will be linked in the description of the video. So you can go check it out over there and enjoy the full video over on the Angry Guy Clubhouse. There's about 20 more minutes of additional commentary discussing the subject further. So go and watch you can check out the full video over in the Angry Guy Clubhouse. But what do you guys think regarding everything that we discussed in this portion of the video? And let me know if you agree with these points, if you agree that this game is absolutely cooked. It's dead on arrival, and it's only going to get worse from here. The relationship between fans and gamers has forever been destroyed. They're going to try to push BioWare's next game, Mass Effect, and people are not going to forget what they've done here. Of course, The Sims will, but a lot of people will remember forever. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts. If you want to watch a full video, you can go check it out over in the Angry Guy Clubhouse. Link in the description. Let me know your thoughts on what we discussed here. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away. And cheers.